This is like an underground, and this is a newer series that I started up. It's more.
I've been hearing about it. That's why I'm trying something about Ultra.
Did you get him at COMICON?
Yeah, I go to COMICON sometimes. But I've been to the Daily Telegraph Water.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's the Ultra Klutz.
Yeah, they even had a coupon in there. See that? You know the coupons they have? Coupons, 10% off Ultra Klutz. I couldn't believe that.
So that's the underground.
Yeah, this is the more raw, kind of, violent.
Well, this is beautiful.
This is more of a series, has continuity and character development, things like that.
Okay, what do you see in the future of Ultra Klutz?
Hopefully, I want to get back to something like this. Instead of what I'm doing now is like this. I did it like this before, but I didn't know what I was doing, so I basically just paid for the color, paid for the quality, but I didn't know how to market it yet. So now what I'm doing is, I think it's more marketable as far as content, so if I do it right, I should be able to do it in a nice format. If I just, send everything out, send out the proposal to distributors and just add up the totals, and if it works, mathematically, then, and I can make a living off of it, then I can hope to do that.
So you see there a feasible living in it for you?
Yeah, if I do that in conjunction with stuff like this, the conventions, if I can sell sketches and maybe start selling original art to the old underground, just hustling any kind of money I can to make it.
New? Okay. $2 for free?
Okay. Yeah.
You're slow cut. Yeah, I'm only doing it. I'm overloaded. Thank you.
Sure. Great. Yeah, just like me, you actually have to go make a living off this stuff.
Labor plus.
Obvious, yeah.
Definitely. Could you draw a dart too?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, people like that.
Yeah. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
If you like it, tell your friends.
Yeah, I'm just going to go back there right now.
Great. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, I remember when he first started. Did you ever buy Zot? That was my favorite. In fact,
Starting up in just a couple
there's a Zot 10.5. It's a mini comic. I was real happy with that. Yeah, have you heard of Cynical Man? It's going to be a Cynical Man teams up with Zot, and it's published. It's like a Cynical Man.
The Marv Wolfman Show, starring Marv Wolfman, guest starring Marv Wolfman, co-starring Marv Wolfman. Marv Wolfman, writer of Teen Titans.
In fact, there's two of these have letters from Scott McCloud in the comics. It's neat. And I got his letter column book too. Yeah? He's a okay. I tried an experiment right here with a brush to get away from that. Got some Harvey comics. Yeah, look at what they did.
Everything okay here, Jeff?
Yeah. Yeah, thanks.
Alright. So you publish these yourself?
Yeah.
How much does it cost to make one? Yeah.
Oh, they all vary. They vary. But like, generally, You say you want to sketch or something?
No, I was saying he likes to sketch and stuff, and we wanted to do our book ourselves.
Oh, yeah.
So but if you want to put in a free sketch or something, you know, did he draw a little face?
But a lot of people are doing this. Xerox comics. There's a whole, like a little market.
I see how it's getting better as you go along.
Yeah.
You know, the copy, the
From the
quality.
greyness to the better.
It's getting great to the black.
It costs anywhere from, you know, it can cost, say you can make them for $0.25 a piece. It's still, when you mail them out, you got 39 cents to mail it, and then like an envelope for a dime, you know, the bigger envelope.
Yeah.
So that's like 50 cents just to mail it. So there's no profit.
It's a bummer. No profit?
No.
And you're up to issue number 5?
You lose money. This year I'm going to write off about at least $600.
Why not take it 7.5?
Oh, now you're reading it quick.
Do you want any particular kind of drawing? Something with Ultra Klutz in it? Yeah.
What I like is when I get people who are buying the Epic series and I talk about Elfquest, and they look at the cheap and look at holes on the area also.
Something new?
What is a real great new series?
Yeah.
That's all new series.
Did you want to do a sketch or?
Could I please? I don't know, what sort of people?
Anything. I like weird challenges.
Do a weird challenge. Do a weird challenge. Big nose, weird challenge.
It's lacrosse, isn't it? Robotech?
I just did one that I don't want to read.
What are you doing it for?
Oh, good. Okay, it was a good one. Where was that? So. Well, I'll see. I know the show. I'll give you a 2.
In the 80s, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles opened the door for independent comic book artists. Since then, many indie artists have found success going it alone. One self-publisher, Mr. John Bean Hastings, is going to take us on a whirlwind tour of the indie comic scene.
When most people think about comic books, they think about steroid-enhanced superheroes beating the bejesus out of evil aliens as scantily clad women look on in feminist annoying poses. If you want some diversity, you gotta go for the smaller guys. To promote my book, we're taking Smith Brown Jones down to the San Diego Comic Book Convention. Attended by hundreds of fans and hundreds of creators, too. Pretty darn huge, isn't it? This is it.
This is just a prime example of what we have to deal with. Huge booths, unlimited amount of resources and money.
In the beginning, there was Marvel and DC. Now there's lots of little companies. With small press, you get a much more diverse type of material going.
I draw a comic book called Bone. I would describe it as The Lord of the Rings meets Bugs Bunny.
This is my comic book, Saucy Little Tarts.
I do a book called Through the Habitrails. It is about having a job.
Cyberzone, the comic, one of the best gun-toting lesbian titles out and around.
Too Much Coffee Man. He's a superhero for the 90s, addicted to coffee and vice and indulgent in all ways.
Colonia is a kind of a alternative history, fantasy adventure series set in the New World. And for me, that was what I felt was different about it. Was most of your fantasy adventures are set in the old world in sort of a fictitious Europe, a kind of with no real geography. You know, there's Mirkwood, but there's no England. Whereas in Colonia, there is the eastern and western coasts of North America, and so using that and playing with New World folklore, which has not been tapped as much as Old World folklore. I just thought there was a lot of new ground to play with. And then when I came up with the man made of fish, that was when I knew I had to just get started on this thing. And he's a bunch of fish that come together, put on a man suit, and come out to interact with people. He's one of those characters that doesn't appear too often, so he's not overdone. He's the one you're kind of craving. You know, every once in a while he'll come along.